Imagine running a business in a CRA with servers in multiple cities. You want to pay only for what you use, forecast costs, and optimize spending. AWS Cost Management tools help you do this efficiently. This is brought to you by Cloud with Shad. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to break down one of the most critical parts of cloud computing, how you actually pay for it, how you track it, and how you manage those costs like a pro.
Here is our business plan for today's explainer. We'll be looking at how you pay, exploring the free tier, tracking cost, support plan levels, your trusted cloud advisor, and we'll wrap up with some highly practical scenarios.
All right, Section 1, How You Pay. Choosing the right AWS pricing models. Just like running a physical business, AWS offers different ways to acquire what you need, whether that's renting for just a single day or signing a long-term lease.
Let's strip away some of the technical jargon here. First up is on-demand pricing. Think of this like hailing a trotro or a taxi. You literally only pay for it while you're riding in it. It's incredibly flexible. You pay per hour or even per second with absolutely zero long-term commitments. But because of that ultimate flexibility, it's going to be your most expensive option. It's really perfect for unpredictable workloads or when you're just testing out a brand new idea. Now, on the other side, we have reserved instances. This is like signing a 1 to 3 year lease for a permanent storefront in Makola Market. You are committing to a steady 24/7 presence. And because you are making that commitment up front, AWS gives you a massive discount. It is hands down the best choice for a steady, predictable business application.
So, the crucial point is just how big that discount can actually be. Well, by committing to a reserved instance for 1 to 3 years, you can get up to a 72% discount compared to that on-demand pricing. That is huge. There's also a really similar option called savings plans, which can also offer up to a 72% discount. Think of a savings plan kind of like a highly flexible prepaid transit card for your cloud spend. Instead of committing to a specific server type, you simply commit to spending a certain dollar amount per hour, let's say $10 an hour, for a year or 3. It gives you the freedom to completely change your setup while keeping those massive savings locked in.
Now take a look at this staggering number, 90%. This applies to something called spot instances. A spot instance is essentially AWS selling off its spare, unused computing capacity. You can think of it like buying heavily discounted surplus goods at the end of the day. You can get up to 90% off, but there is a catch, and it's a big one. AWS can interrupt your work and take that server back with just a 2-minute warning if a full-paying customer suddenly needs it. So you absolutely never want to use spot instances for your critical databases. But if you have flexible, background tasks that can easily be paused and restarted later, this is an incredible way to save some serious money.
Finally, for pricing, we have dedicated hosts and instances. To stick with our business analogy, this isn't just renting a room, this is renting out an entire physical building just for your company. Literally no one else is allowed on that hardware. Why would you ever do this? Usually it's not really for performance, but rather to meet very strict corporate compliance policies or rigid software licensing rules that actually require you to track the exact physical server. Because it's completely dedicated to you, it is for sure the most expensive pricing option on AWS.
Moving right along to Section 2, the free tier, testing the waters before you spend. Let's look at how you can test out your cloud business ideas completely for free before touching your valuable capital.
AWS actually offers 3 distinct types of free tier options. First up, there are always free services. These don't just expire after a year, they simply have a monthly limit. For example, AWS gives you a set amount of free requests for serverless processing with Lambda or databases with RDS every single month forever. Second, we have the 12-month free tier. For your entire first year, you get allowances like 750 hours a month of an EC2 virtual server, 5 gigabytes of S3 file storage, and data delivery with CloudFront. And finally, there are trials. These are short-term free access periods for specific premium services, giving you a month or 2 to really try them out before you buy. Just remember though, once you go over these free limits, standard billing immediately kicks in.
Okay, Section 3, tracking your cloud costs. Doing the accounting for your cloud business. Once you finally graduate from that free tier, you need solid accounting tools to keep your West African cloud business profitable.
Let me pose a really practical business question to you. How do you predict and manage next month's server bill? Honestly, you wouldn't run a physical shop without a ledger or a strict budget, right? And you certainly shouldn't run a cloud infrastructure without one either. Thankfully, AWS provides a whole suite of tools to help answer this exact question.
Let's logically walk through these 5 tools. Before you even build a single thing, you use the AWS Pricing Calculator. This lets you accurately estimate your costs well in advance. Then, once your business is actually up and running, you use AWS Cost Explorer to beautifully visualize what you've already spent over the past year. To make absolutely sure you don't overspend, you set up AWS budgets. This handy tool sends you an email alert the second you cross a specific spending limit. If you need super deep, complex accounting, you use Cost and Usage Reports, or CUR, which gives you detailed line-by-line data. And finally, AWS Cost Anomaly Detection uses machine learning, basically AI, to constantly monitor your account and instantly flag any weird, unexpected spikes in your spending. It's a lifesaver.
As your business inevitably grows, you might end up with multiple AWS accounts, maybe one for the marketing team and a totally separate one for the developers. AWS Organizations lets you act as a giant parent company, consolidating the bills from all these different branches into one place. By combining your usage, you unlock volume discounts way faster, and you can even share those reserved instance discounts we talked about earlier across the whole company. To keep track of exactly who is spending what, you use cost allocation tags. Just think of tags as simple, customizable labels, like department equals marketing, that you attach to your servers so you can easily sort your bill at the end of the month.
Section 4. AWS Support Plan Levels. Hiring business consultants for the cloud. Because look, even with the absolute best accounting, sometimes things just go wrong, which brings us to hiring external technical consultants.
Everyone starts on the basic plan for free, but keep in mind it doesn't offer human technical support. If you are just testing things out, the developer plan gets you email support during normal business hours. But once you have a real, live production business running, you're definitely going to want the business plan, which gets you 24/7 support and a response time of less than an hour if your critical systems suddenly go down. But take a look at the bottom tiers, Enterprise On-Ramp and Enterprise. These are meant for massive, mission-critical workloads. Notice that VIP column on the far right? TAM Access. TAM stands for Technical Account Manager. Only the top enterprise tiers get you access to these dedicated experts who proactively help your business. And at the highest enterprise tier, if your whole system crashes, AWS literally guarantees a response in less than 15 minutes. No way you're staying offline for long.
Next up is Section 5, your trusted cloud advisor. Think of this as the wise elder of AWS best practices. Aside from just regular human support, this tool constantly monitors your business to make sure it is running safely, securely, and as efficiently as possible.
Trusted Advisor basically acts like an ongoing automated health check for your cloud business across 5 core pillars. First, it checks for cost optimization, literally telling you if you have idle servers just sitting there wasting your money. Next is performance, making sure your systems aren't bottlenecked and slowing down. Third is security, alerting you immediately if your passwords are weak or if sensitive files are accidentally open to the public. Fourth is fault tolerance, making sure you have proper backups ready to go in case of an emergency. And finally, service limits, warning you well in advance if you were about to hit your maximum allowed capacity.
Now, your level of access to this wise elder really depends on the support plan you're paying for. If you are on the basic or developer plans, you only get 7 essential core checks, mostly focused on basic security stuff, like making sure your storage isn't wide open to the entire internet. However, if you upgrade to the business or enterprise plans, you unlock the full power of Trusted Advisor. This gives you over 100 automated checks across all 5 of those categories we just talked about, providing incredibly deep insights into how to improve your business overall.
Finally, Section 6. Practical cloud cost scenarios. Running your daily operations. We've covered the pricing, the free tiers, all the tools, and support. Now, let's bring it all together and see how this works for our fictional business.
When you're actually in the trenches running things day to day, a smart business owner synthesizes all these strategies. First off, you mix your vehicle types, your pricing models, you use reserved instances for your main website because it's always on. Then you use on-demand when you launch a quick temporary marketing campaign. And you definitely use spot instances for those cheap overnight data processing jobs. Second, you consolidate your bills using AWS Organizations if you have multiple branches, making sure you scoop up those volume discounts. Third, you absolutely turn on cost anomaly detection so AI can catch any accidental billing mistakes immediately before they become a huge problem. And finally, you continually use Cost Explorer and your organizational tags to see exactly which department is spending what.
Think of AWS cost management like running a business in West Africa. Choose the right pricing model, monitor spending, forecast costs, use support wisely, and optimize resources to save money.
Now that you know exactly how to control your costs and optimize your setup, what will your very first cloud business idea be? We can't wait to see what you build. This is brought to you by Cloud with Shad.